Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to the Offworld Trading Company. It's week 5. We are ever getting closer to the final showdown in week 7. But before that, we still have to eliminate a couple more unwanted competitors. But we have the choice between two areas, Syria Planum or Tharsis Montes. In Syria, we are facing 3 opponents out of our remaining 6. And the reward is Cold Fusion for the next 2 weeks. Tharsis Montes, we only face 2 opponents, and the reward is a free solar panel for the next 2 weeks. I think I'm gonna stick with this one. Tharsis Montes, just this way we will divide the maps equally and we'll get more out of it. It's a volcano map, so we'll most likely actually have geothermal power plants. Rare resources, so it's going to be an interesting struggle again, but the map will be fully revealed. So rather than me having to do all the work, it's going to be done for me. And we're going to have an interesting mix of piracy options. Bribe claim, M.U.L.E, filthy pirates, so we can plop them down and steal resources from other players. Or they can do it to me. Slowdown strike, core sample and the goon squad to protect ourselves against all the other things. I think this is going to be interesting, so let's move on with hiring our staff. So food prices have settled down a little bit again. Special resources are still expensive, but food prices are no longer as ludicrous as they were. But if you look at oxygen and fuel, those prices on Offworld are crazy. So can we get ourselves an astronaut? We don't have enough money saved up yet to actually get ourselves a permanent astronaut. But we can contract one for this week. So that could inform our strategy. Power we can't export, but it's gonna help us save money on all the other things. So if we would spend this, that leaves us with 550, so we could permanently hire another a farmer, a greenhouse farm engineer, sorry. Excuse me for just calling you a simple peasant. Let's see, anything else that would be useful. So I'm actually very tempted to grab a temporary one for this. Interesting, a free water pump. Free patent lab, teleportation. That also means no fuel costs. You know what, let's get ourselves a farmer. And then save the rest of the cash for next week. So let's launch. Is anyone else able to build Offworld? Okay, so Yoji actually has Offworld markets completely unlocked and optimization center, while Silas has a hacker array. So he can actually manipulate market prices. But I guess we will have to do. We have a very broad spectrum of other production options that we can use to our advantage. So let's see what happens this week. The map will be revealed at the start of the mission. Founding earlier than the other corporation will result in higher debt. So we still have the countdown. So water, water, power, iron. That's a huge amount of iron. Carbon is gonna be rare. So actually if we're gonna set up here. Yeah, let's set up here. We start with some depth. Then we grab water. We grab the carbon over here. Set up a geothermal. Then we start producing food. And next up we need fuel and oxygen. And then that's gonna be it. Starting with a lot of depth. Might not have been the best of ideas, but otherwise someone else would have grabbed this. So we'll see whether being hasty was a good move here or whether it was less brilliant. Let's go with the positive approach here. Let's buy some fuel. Just sell the resources we are mining for now. It might just completely depress the prices, but we'll see about that. So this will actually need to turn into a steel factory relatively quick. Okay, 3.5, almost there. Come on, come on. Yes, excellent. And we are nearly self-sufficient. For me, that's always the first thing I want to get to, self-sufficiency. So we are producing and mining everything. Especially because fuel prices are already starting to climb. Let's see, is there anything useful here? Is there anything interesting we can do by sabotaging our competitors? Okay, underground nuke. What got nuked? My water pump got nuked. Okay. It's no longer rich, it's now low. Okay, that's annoying, but happens, I suppose. Is anyone else mining lots of water? You are. Can we sell to set up filthy pirates? It's only a very small shipping lanes that they set up on. Just wondering if it's actually viable or useful. I already did buy it, that's slightly unfortunate. Oh, you're producing water, might as well set it up here.
Pirates.
Let's go with that.
I hate those filthy bandits.
There. Let's focus on our own game again. We need upgrades. For that we need aluminium and we need steel. Aluminium prices are going up, steel prices are going down. Let's stop selling this. See if that has a positive approach on. This stuff also... You have issues because I have a lack of water. Because I'm consuming more than I'm producing right now. Also there's a plot for sale. Okay. As a general rule, I want it, even if it's not the best to use. I can't do much more with it than building a solar cell or a wind turbine. But it's gonna be okay. Newsflash, a pipe leak reported. That means there's a shortage of both
the black market is
all the water related things.
Colony expanded.
Excellent, we can upgrade. That means we can build stuff that's useful. Also, more water. We have claims, core samples I mean. So, high iron. Interesting. Not what I was looking for. I was looking for better water. Carbon. So actually, I'm digging in an iron-rich area, so I'm getting iron. That does make sense. Right, for now, let's stop digging. Let's start pumping. Because iron is just so utterly worthless right now. Can't do much with it. Let's process it though into steel. So this should get our water production up to less abysmal results. Start producing some more food and some more of the other stuff. Also just get ourselves some water supplies. Just to keep the industry going. Buy some more. Water prices are rising. That's actually fairly positive for us.
robotic colony.
But we're still using way more than we produce, so let's make another one that gets us a triangle. Triangles are super productive. Also, someone screwed me over with an underground nuke. Who was it?
Pirates.
Also,
I hate
someone-
those filthy bandits.
I'm gonna come to you. I mean, water prices are good. It's the basis of everything. So if you have a lot less, that means you are gonna be less happy. And if you're less happy, that's good. Who knows? You're shooting down my water production. Bugger. Can I... turn it off while the pirates are there? Just to deny them the resources. Yes, I think that works. Also gonna deny me the resources, of course. This is just such a clusterfuck. How long is this gonna be here? Or is it just a fixed amount of that I claim? Hacker array for price manipulation. It will allow us to manipulate prices, and we do have some surpluses. Okay, that's a right at level 3. Okay, so we just need to get ourselves upgraded. Up our game. So aluminium, those mines are very far away. Okay, so what do we have on the auto sale right now? Can upgrade, excellent. Okay, more claims. Access to the hacker array, which we can build wherever. And we have some storms that we can mess with our opponents. Also, we have our water back. Most excellent, most excellent. Okay. We definitely need more of this stuff, because we're really teetering on the edge here. That's annoying that aluminium is going to be so ridiculously expensive for us to mine. On the other hand, denying them the pleasure might also be useful. But for now, we'll see. Aluminium can be bought where needed. For now, let's invest in a proper economy. So, more food, more electrolysis, more water. Even if you don't have perfect water sources, you can still get a lot out of it. That's just gonna set up our fundamentals. That's the important bit. Produce more power. Also good, then did we ensure that for the future? Because we're building a lot. That's gonna put more pressure on this. So that way we're future-proofing ourselves for tech levels 4 and 5. Okay, we're taking carbon out of the floor. Carbon and fuel together make chemicals. Together with silicon and aluminium we make electronics, but we don't have access to easy aluminium. Also, prices are dropping. Might as well stockpile a bit. Also fix our debts just to have it fixed. This is gonna be just for general usefulness. Let's start auto-selling fuel because prices are going up and we are building up a surplus. Water is still just hovering up and down enough. Okay. Energy vaults. I don't think I care enough about energy vaults. I'm producing a massive surplus of power. So let's start producing glass. glass. That means we need elemental quarries, which are also on the other side. Okay, that was maybe not the best of ideas. So then the chemical refinery, because we have access to a couple of the few sites that produce the stuff. Yeah, let's go with chemicals. And a level up. That unlocks us the Offworld market. Also, there's a shortage of everything. Ooh, Marshquake. Marshquakes are good for you. Because that means we can actually sell some of our excess resources. Well, some of them. Also, we need more water. Okay, let's see, we're not selling the water because we need that as an input for other things. Okay, let's actually stop selling stuff that's low in value. So we only sell the stuff that's really high in value right now, and we just stockpile all the other things.
Scientific colony expanded.
Then let's do a final upgrade, and then after that we can... Oh, hacker array. Just plop it down there. And next up is going to be the Offworld market. And ooh, they are heavily in debt, our competitors. We get a lot of money from that. Let's actually use the opportunity to expand our reach here. Also increasing the prices of basic resources and the other buildings, which is gonna be the one. Office buildings are not a bad idea to invest in either. Okay. Well, whether it's a colony warehouse or an office building, I'm actually happy either way because I'm attempting to produce not glass, chemicals. Right, so that means stop selling fuel and then we can actually get to it. Okay. That's my one gripe I have, that you can't say with auto sell to keep a reserve for your own production options. Actually, let's have a quick double check in options on the gameplay. Auto sell resources first before handling life support. Okay, so you would want to the opposite of that. Auto supply, so that they will actually buy stuff from the market. Let's try. Actually, let's not set it as the default, so we just cancel. Actually, have a look here. Can we say to you, auto supply chemical refineries? I like it. Which building? Oh, that's aluminium. Which we don't have. Someone else has it. Too far away, I think. Fuel prices are high. We're making boatloads of money. It's also day 5. Yes, we have enough for our off-world market. Also means insta-shielding it. Oh, time to annoy our competitors. Let's see. Storm, we blew up a lot of value there. And blowing up a lot of value here. So, at least we have used them. Always it feels so... It's such a waste if you have them but you don't use them. Those tools. Let's build another habitat. Still pushing just over 50% of our shares. Exactly 50 now. Okay. So water is doing pretty well. Also, we have our launch pad. That means we can sell stuff away from this rock. Interestingly, fuel is the most expensive, is the most profitable, or oxygen is the most profitable to sell because it has a really high price. The other things don't really matter. So yeah, let's just queue this up.
Is online.
It's just all about the difference in price that you exploit. Launch another one, then we launch one of those. That means we got some launches going. Also, because we got this hacker array, we can actually manipulate prices. So we gotta... I want to simulate an iron shortage just to get rid of some of our stocks here. Surplus of steel, so this is gonna be worth more. And let's produce a bit more chemicals. Also, geothermal power is going very well still. Might as well sell more or produce more. Not quite sure if I'm doing a silly thing here by just going immediately for 2. Actually, just go for 1 first, see if that flattens the price or not. Let's see, produce more of this stuff. Let's see, our food is already a triangle, that's why it's producing so much, but we might as well add more. Ooh, if we add one more here, then the water is just going to be delivered by pipe, so we don't have to spend money on fuel. Teleportation, that's also very fine. Actually, that would open up the entire market to us. I can spend a lot on that here. Especially if they go into debt. I get a chunk of their debt as income. Boom, okay, fuel cost gone. So, pay off debts. Let's see, strap more stuff to rockets. Yep, some water. Okay, that's still all good.
Scientific colony expanded.
So, aluminium. Yo, I want it. Silicon. That's the only sources. Okay.
Have compromised the trading servers. Price manipulation begins shortly.
Is that silicon? That's silicon. Excellent. Wait, what? Seriously? I dug it up and someone insta-grabbed it? That feels completely fucked up. Actually. It should give you a short timer to actually act on it. Because these AIs, they just insta-click it. Well, they don't click, but you understand what I mean. Okay. Back to our own base. Let's.
Our hackers have compromised the trading servers. Price manipulation begins shortly. Offworld
Okay.
shipment launched.
We need more water. We always need more water. Getting closer to the final day. Let's splurge. So. We are making boatloads of money. It's pretty scary at this point. So we got 20 shares and they together don't even have 10 shares. We got 21 now. So let's start selling off some of our excesses here. Okay, so power prices are now stabilizing. So it was a good call to not make more. On the other hand, just gonna push the price of power further up. We might as well get ourselves a geothermal.
Our hackers have compromised the trading servers. Price manipulation begins shortly. Offworld shipment launched. Look at all the
Let's see,
money.
we don't have any issues yet. Good. Offworld markets. We need to queue up more. Actually, less of this, more of this. This is just shipping water off of this rock. Apparently that's the most profitable thing we can do right now. So, we go with it. Let's see, we are out of selling this, so we might as well make the price go up further. Well, actually, that's already happening. So just feeding into it. Fuel, auto sell. We're also halfway through the final day. Let's just approach this a little bit more aggressive. See if we can make a buck here. Make a buck there. We have still a ton of money. Okay. Now making enough money that I'm actually... Yeah, it's just... We're selling the basics. We're selling water, we're selling air, we're selling fuel. We're just supplying everybody with the basic necessities of life that you cannot escape from. Okay. Just sell more. Click. That was it. Okay, so this was a smashing victory. 33 shares versus 9 versus the other two combined. So we got more than 3/4 of the entire colony in our hands. So power was by far the biggest moneymaker. And we actually got to the point where it was just 500 per unit. And that's where it was stabilizing. And because I was just building so many of these office buildings that all slurped up power, the demand just kept creeping up higher and higher and higher. And it was pretty glorious. Silas also got some of the action. Yoji was closer to the aluminium sources, and as a result he was supplying us. He was our supplier. I spent a boatload on glass, which actually it does make sense because I didn't have access to silicon, so I was not producing my own. And I spent a boatload on warehouses and on just colony upgrades. Silas spent a boatload on fuel, so I think fuel is... I made 220k for fuel, and Silas bought most of it. And Yoji was buying up all our power. So everybody's favorite sabotage was the magnetic storm. Cool, it's a bit of a balance. And Silas was annoying me and everybody else was annoying Silas. Well, but despite that, Silas was still the number 2 player by quite a distance. Okay, let's have a look. What's the final result? 78% of the income goes to me. So that's 600k a week. And we get cheaper patents in the future. I'm pretty excited about this. This is pretty good. And the other map, San Marino won, but he only, well, that's about 40% I think of the pie. The others divided the rest, so that's 30-30. So they didn't, the balance of power between those players was relatively maintained. Sam just got slightly ahead of the other two, but not far. And here I completely crushed the other two. So it probably, Yoji is now actually has been eliminated because of the lowest stock price. And Silas is probably on the bottom of the list. Exactly. Ooh, cold fusion or nanotech? Cold fusion. Buildings are powered by water. And nanotech. Recycle resources when you scrap buildings. I actually like cold fusion the best here. I don't really scrap my buildings. Maybe in a skirmish match you do that more. That you just cycle between different endgame resources that you are producing. But it's been these early rounds of the campaign, you're just focused on getting ahead and it's a very limited time frame, so there is not as much dynamics to it as possible because you're just racing. But that's it for this episode. We once again managed to crush our competitors, and we only have 2 weeks to go before we will see if we will actually be the Offworld Trading Company on Mars in the end. So I'll hope to join me again next episode. Bye bye.